my life.
Come on. I'm dying here. Just dying.
After the first half, I thought, okay, I'll just watch the first part of the second half. They're behind by 10, 17-7. I'll be able to go to bed. Oh, I'm up till 11:30.
Yeah. I'm up till 11:30, and then I gotta watch the television till 12:30.
I didn't believe it. Yeah, I know how you do it. Oh, well. It was fun.
It was a good prime time game.
Oh,
We'll see it again. Maybe.
yeah.
We could end up with 3 NFC teams in the playoffs.
That doesn't happen. Like somebody, or Buffalo checked over, Benito was posting about how the Bills had secured a playoff spot. I said, you guys would be in second or third place in the NFC.
Yeah.
Two of those A6? No, wait, are they? Yes. No, yeah, they're A6. Yeah. And I love A6.
2 minutes,
and I
Dave.
love
2 minutes.
See,
I have
love
Brooks
them.
and I love A6.
2
Yes.
minutes.
Hello.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point.
Good.
Do you
A
have
little bit more.
What?
A little bit more. Good.
Do you have another hat?
In the car. 1 minute, Dave. 1 minute.
I thought you were like,
That's your 1 minute cue.
yes, shall I take your order, sir?
This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the Gulf of Mexico as their backdrop, broadcasting live from the Margaritaville Resort on Fort Myers Beach, here are the hosts of the dinkiest podcast in America, Kim and Ed Ryan.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome to Margaritaville on a beautiful Saturday in December with Christmas just a few weeks away. Santa Claus and the Margaritaville folks did a thank you. Did a tree lighting last night here. There was so much going on the beach last night. The kids had a bonfire down at the Seagate property, and also the what was the other thing that went on? Totally drawing a blank right now. There was something else that went on.
But I did
What
see
else?
Santa this morning.
What else? There were 3 things that were happening last night. Holy crap. I forgot what the other one was. And I promoted it too. Oh, the Historical Society had a open house at the Bay Street location in their cottage. So a very busy weekend. Tonight is the boat parade, everybody, at 6 o'clock. It starts at 6, and there's going to be 2 loops of the boats tonight. And your best viewing area is going to be Snug Harbor and Nervous Nellies and that whole area down there. I don't know. In past years, I think they allowed people to watch on the bridge. I don't know if they're allowing people to watch on the bridge this year because there's no space on the bridge anymore. So
No, I don't think that they could.
yeah.
I don't think that they could do that. I
Right.
can tell you, I think I'm going to be bringing my puffy coat.
Yeah, what happened? What happened to your hair there? Your hair is all a muss this
It
morning.
is well,
Yeah,
it was
why?
windy. I parked and walked over the bridge. You guys should have told me my hair was such a mess.
Yeah.
I have to get a hat. because you put us in the sun, and I don't.
No
wanna
heckling
get,
from the audience,
I don't
man.
want to get skin cancer.
I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch the walk around this morning. It was down at Leonardo Arms. A lot of beach renourishment going on there. And if you didn't watch it this morning, the beach renourishment is going to be from that building 450 feet out. That's a lot of feet. Dave, is that one football field or two football fields? How many feet is a football field? 300 yards? 300 feet is one football field. Really? So it's more than a football field. You are a mathematician. You should be the chairman of the Murph Committee because you know exactly how long for. Well, you might be the chairman of the Murph Committee. The new and improved user-friendly Murph Committee meets this Thursday at 10 o'clock. Is it at Bay Oaks or is it at the trailer? Trailer, okay, at the town hall trailers. Okay, so my wife was supposed to be modeling the brand new red hoodies that we have there because we finally have a new product and we have like 4 left after they sold quite vigorously this past week. So a nice new product there. It's called Scarlet, Dave, not red. This is a scarlet color, so it's very Christmassy and it looks fabulous on you. Look at you. You should do all this before the show starts. That would be nice if you did that. So we have an action-packed show for you today. And the first guest is going to be Jackie from St. Raphael's Church. And we're going to talk about the Blue Christmas. Jackie, come on down. Can we get a big hand for Jackie? Ladies and gentlemen, John King has entered the building. We've totally prepped the audience that if John King needs mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, we know exactly who's giving it to him. Here, back up a little bit. It's not going to be me. Don't. All right, Jackie, what number microphone do you have? All right, you are live, and tell everybody.
Well, first of all, I just have to say that
right
Jackie's one of the nicest people we have ever met.
I know. Why do you say that? What did she say?
She's just always so kind and always so sweet and always so positive.
So
unlike you.
So
Like the both of you.
See? There
why
you
isn't her
go.
microphone working?
I
You
don't know.
just switch to that one.
Okay.
There we go.
A
Try
lot
that
like
one.
the both of you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh,
Much better.
so
True.
nice.
So tell us who Jackie is.
Oh, I'm a transplant from New Jersey, and
You didn't have a transplant in New Jersey.
No.
You're a transplant from New Jersey.
yeah.
Okay.
And I love it here. This is our home, and we're making a community here, and we're just trying to help make a difference.
How long have you lived here?
We
You got to
bought-
keep it closer.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We bought in 2016,
Oh, so you've been here?
and we moved here full time in 2022.
And where is what road do you live on?
We live in Heritage Point.
You sure
It's
about
right
that?
by-
You look like you look like you need to phone a friend.
Oh, no, I did. I was like, Steve, where do we live? I said, yeah, we live in Heritage Point near Aldi's on Summerlin
Oh,
and
okay.
Pine Ridge.
Very nice.
And so we moved right before Hurricane Ian.
Wow.
And then we lost our home
oh,
to Hurricane Ian. So we've spent all this time rebuilding, and we've
it's a
been
good
blessed.
thing you have a strong faith because I'm sure
We
that
do.
took a lot.
We do.
Wow.
Well, look what our community's gone through.
Yes.
That's why we're here today, because after Milton, I came home and I said, we got to do something.
Mhm.
And we went to the church, and our
Wait,
committee.
you don't jump ahead yet.
Okay,
Because
okay.
I have a question. So you
Thanks.
moved from where to get
Jersey.
you moved from New Jersey. Then you bought the house. Is it a house or is it a
It's a condo.
condo? And the condos got it by there.
Yes.
Where did that
Yes.
water come from?
From the ocean.
There.
Really,
So-
all the way over there.
Yes.
That's what a part of
Here,
Iona.
stop-
That's where all of that. You are just
Yes.
disconnected. Yes.
It's
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's surprising.
Yeah, that is quite a ways out there.
Yeah.
Right.
So, what process? Where are you in the process of rebuilding, refixing the whole thing?
We just finished rebuilding, and we were lucky enough to sell it, sell our
Okay.
condo. We watched over it meticulously. It's good, so I could sell it in good faith. And we moved up to the second floor because we love it here. We want to stay. We
So you
moved up.
just yeah.
Oh, you moved up. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a member of St. Raphael's Church. Tell us how the church is doing.
Oh my gosh, we're doing well. That's what got me so excited. After Milton, I was so grateful to pull up and see that the building was still there
Yeah.
and that we could still have services. But we took water in again
Mhm.
as well up in the process of our rebuild, and they're fixing it up yet again, like so many other people.
Where is St. Raphael's for people that don't know?
Okay, down Estero Boulevard, you go to Publix, and I think we're the second or the third left past Publix
Mhm.
on Williams Drive. Make a left, then make your first right.
It's in a
Williams Drive,
neighborhood.
and it's right there. Yeah,
Yeah, it's at
in a
the end of
neighborhood.
that neighborhood,
Yes.
and there's
Yeah.
like a cul-de-sac
Yes.
around it.
It's
It's
part
really
of that neighborhood,
such
yeah.
a quaint.
Yes.
Yes.
It is quaint. It's a lovely neighborhood.
And weren't you one of the only few churches that survived
Yes.
through Ian, right?
Yes, we were. What is that?
What?
I hear something. Oh, it's my phone. I'm sorry.
Do you
Steve,
need,
shut my phone off.
do you need to
would
take a call?
No. Can you shut it off, Steve?
Come on,
I'm
Steve.
sorry.
Pay attention here. What's going on? So
I hear those bells
Oh
ring, and
my
I think
God.
she was
Why?
like, "Uh-oh, I'm being called up."
So you guys,
Just shut it off. Thanks.
last time I was at the church, I'm sorry, I don't go to church a lot, but last time I was at a church was your church, and it was because you were doing a
Oh,
dedication ceremony out in the
yes.
back there
Yes.
to everybody who passed away in the
Yep.
storm, which was very nice.
Yes. We're church. I'm
Mm-hmm.
so fortunate to belong with them. And yeah, they care. They care, Ellie.
How is it that you got to that church if being
I-
off
yeah.
island?
Yeah, because I looked around online and it fit with where I went up in Jersey. They have a spirit there that matches with what I came from. That doesn't mean anyone else's is wrong or
Right,
it's
right.
just different. And
Or
so
has a bad
I-
spirit?
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah. It's just a different way, and it's more traditional, and I like that.
All right, so you have a Blue Christmas coming up. Can you kind of tell the crowd what a Blue Christmas is?
Sure. This is a service that started way back in the 80s in Canada.
Of
And
course, everybody
wow.
knows that, Jackie. Come on.
Jeez, who
Can you
was
believe
even
that?
around in the 80s?
Can you
Not
believe
us.
that? I know, not us.
If I lived in
You're so
Canada,
funny.
every Christmas would be blue.
You're so funny.
Thank you. Who would want to live in
I
Canada?
set you up nice there. I'm
You
knowing
like
Thank
to
you.
really
Thank you.
like outdoor
Yeah.
activities.
They don't even have real football up there. It's
know.
like 7
snowed
football
in.
fields.
That's where it started,
Yeah.
according to Google.
Football?
And then,
That's where football started?
No,
that's
blue.
where the Blue Christmas
Oh, I see.
started.
Gotcha.
And then in the 90s, it came down to the U.S. and it's been gaining in popularity since.
Yeah.
It's usually on the 21st or on or around the 21st of December because of the longest night of the year, the
And
winter
so
solstice.
what is it?
It's a service of worship and remembrance for those of us who have loss, any kind of loss. So when we came home from the church service after Milton, I said, we got to do something. These people have lost their homes, not once, not twice,
Yeah.
but 3 times.
Yeah.
And I couldn't wrap my head around it. So we got together as a committee and we're putting on, everybody chipped in. It's just beautiful. So that we're hoping that we give our community a sense of being held and that we see you and we hear you and
Yeah. Do you
we
need
know
me
what
to
you're
come
going
out?
through.
Do you need me to come out and hug people? Because I think that would
No.
help the community if I gave them
No.
a big hug.
yeah, you
Yeah.
do every day
Oh,
with
stop.
everything that you
Oh,
guys
cut
do.
It out.
It's
Shut
true.
it. Cut it out.
Isn't that
She
true?
is so good.
It's
at
true.
just
It's not true.
working.
I was just making
You
that
should
up.
go into politics.
Nobody wants to hug me.
Positive
She doesn't even
politics.
wanna
I'm
hug
telling
me.
you the truth because you guys are so good.
Yes.
I love the writer
Thank you.
and everything.
Oh, thank you very much.
Seriously.
So, do you have to dress in blue?
No,
Oh,
no.
no, you
So
don't.
it's not like yes.
No. And you don't have to be sad to come.
Okay.
If you
What if you are sad?
but if
Is
you
that
are
okay?
sad-
Yeah.
it's just for those of us who have experienced loss, any kind of loss. Maybe you're just not feeling as festive in the
Yeah.
season, and you just want a time to just sit and be still. That's one thing. And the other thing is, if you know someone who's suffering, you can bring them and stand with them
Mhm.
and be with them during the service. I went to a local church service. That's how I learned about it. It
Mhm.
was beautiful. So I brought it to our church and said, we got to do it.
So is
I
it a
mean-
regular service or is there a special thing that they do during the blue service?
It's special.
okay.
It's special. And it's not necessarily that you'll have Eucharist or anything. You'll just,
Okay.
it's singing. They call it tis worship. It's kind of singing and then response and then singing and response. And it ends up soothing you.
Will they
Nice.
sing Blue Christmas? I mean, by
yeah,
Elvis?
We should have that at the
Isn't
end.
that an Elvis song, Blue Christmas?
Yes,
Yeah,
we were just singing that
Nice
last
way
night.
to end it. Yeah. So when is it?
Oh my gosh, Wednesday, December 11th, Wednesday night at 6:30.
And
So
it's
it's
at
not the 21st.
No,
Okay.
It's at the
usually
church.
Around. It's at the church. 5601 Williams Drive, Fort Myers Beach,
So December 11th, and the time again was
6:30.
6:30.
It's a Wednesday night. You can come after work if you want.
Is there a cover charge or is
No
it
cover
no cover
charge.
charge?
No,
No.
and we're making little trinkets for people to take back.
What
Sweet.
church have you ever been to that
Well, they
charged a
I'm
cover
so
charge?
serious. I'm like, no, there's no
I'm
charge.
just joking around.
Sorry.
So come.
He did this to you last time,
know,
and you just
remember?
rolled with it. I
When
was
were-
like,
when were
you
you on
guys
last time? I
she
forgot.
was at Wahoo Willie's, and
Okay.
I think it
Oh
was
my God.
about
What was it about?
Such a good
it was
memory.
I think it was a mental health.
It was
Oh, right.
Voices from the Storm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, will there be a lot of singing? Is there going to
That's
be a
what
lot
there's
of
gonna be
just?
singing.
Is it going to be a lot of up and down like the
No.
Catholics? Because that
No.
drives me crazy. I
No.
mean, I grew up Catholic, and
No.
my God, the up and down thing was just
No.
too much.
This is non-denominational. Everyone's
Right.
welcome. Not a lot of up and down. Just sit and
I
be
can
held.
say that because I grew up Catholic. I'm
It's
not. I'm not
me
making
too.
fun of
Me
anybody.
too.
It's true. It happened.
Me too.
That's
I
why
know.
my knees don't
I-
work anymore.
It's
Too
true.
much
it
of that.
couldn't be that you were a catcher.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
made me sit. They made me sit in the pew with no pads on. If they don't
Oh.
have pads on the thing in front of you, they
Oh,
try.
yeah. That
That's where all the
hurts.
bad kids go over there without any pads.
So
Yeah.
you were a catcher for baseball.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
I thought I was. Did I ever tell you the pitching
Here we
pitching
go.
machine story? I was a catcher in high school. For those that have probably heard this story, and I thought I was pretty good. I was going to the majors. I was going to be a star. And then they put me behind the pitching machine, which, when you catch the pitching machine
Don't be
back in the
vulgar.
day, it doesn't throw regular baseballs. It throws lacrosse balls. They're rubber balls for some
Oh,
reason.
wow.
I don't know if they changed it, but back then they would throw these rubber balls in the pitching machine. And if the rubber balls bounce, don't make it all the way to your glove, it
You don't
bounces.
have to-
And then if it bounces and you
They
miss
can
it,
fill in.
it
They
hits
can
you
fill
where
in.
where the
They
sun.
can
Yeah,
fill.
I mean, and that was serious pain. So that's when I gave up doing the baseball thing. So I wasn't as good as I thought. So, but
Well,
that-
you were called to a different.
yes, I was
Venue.
called to. Thank
I'm
you very
waiting
much.
for
Nice
you to
segue.
turn
Appreciate
that
that.
around. Like,
I'm trying.
Let's see how she does with this.
You're
I'm,
cute.
Maybe
I'm
that's
telling
why we
you,
only
that-
had
We're a
one
good team,
child.
Kim.
You
We gotta go
are-
on
no,
the show.
you are good on your own.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
So December 11th.
You have a great memory.
Did you say what time it was?
Yes, 6:30 p.m.
6:30 p.m. No cover charge.
You can't remember that.
You don't have to wear blue,
Right.
and
No,
you come sad
yeah.
and go home happy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go home
Who's-
feeling held.
Who's leading the church these days?
Well, Father Michael Rowe.
Father Michael Rowe.
Mhm.
Has he been on the show once?
I think he
He
was.
was on the
Yes.
show once. They're very
Yes.
nice. When I went down there to cover that thing, everybody was so nice. It was so uncomfortable because they were being so nice to me, and I had no idea why. Yeah.
Or what
It-
to
it
do.
really
You're
is a
always looking for
beautiful
people to
church,
hit you in the back of the head with a baseball bat. But not in the church. I felt like that wasn't going to
Maybe
happen
with
in
a
the church.
Bible or a hymnal.
Maybe
not
with the
a bat.
Bible. That's funny.
There were a few people in that church that I was worried were going to hit me with the Bible.
Hey, I think those people were worried the church was going to come down. Ian
Yes.
didn't take it down, but you walking in really made it shiver.
How's the stage coming
Touche.
along? I know you guys were still working on the stage
Oh,
last time. I
it's
was
a
in.
work in progress.
Okay, right.
It truly is. And we were set back a teeny bit with Helene.
Yeah.
Took some water again. So you'll see that and Father Michael Rowe talks about that we are in restoration as a church, but also as a people,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and as a community. And so what you guys do to help us and what we're trying to do to augment what you do is just lift each other up and keep having hope for the future. You
Wow.
know, that's what's important.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. And I know you had other folks here, but they're enjoying breakfast. So
Yes.
good for them. Good for them.
Yes, they are.
December 11th at 6:30 at St. Raphael's Church is a Blue Christmas. Everybody's
On
welcome.
Williams Drive.
On Williams Drive, right past the Publix on Estero Boulevard. A big
That's right
hand
off the
for
Estero.
our first
Oh, you're
guest,
so
Jackie.
sweet.
Thank you, Jackie, very much.
Thank you both.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate you coming on. And what was I going to say? Something, I forgot what it was. Besides the boat. Oh, tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow at 10 o'clock there. Where are you going? Oh, the hair. She's got to fix the hair. Tomorrow at 10:30, we have the mayor's show, 10:30, 10 o'clock at the Wahoo Willie's. So if you can come on down, we are going to try and get an update on several things, including the trailer situation. And Councilman John King is here. He's coming up as our third guest today. But first, I need to tell you about Alex King, because Alex creates dreams. He elevates lifestyles. And you know, you've seen Alex King signs all over Fort Myers Beach. If you're looking to sell or buy a property, Alex King is your man. Come live your dream here and elevate your lifestyle. Call the Alex King Group at 239-219-0336, 239-219-0336. Thank you to Alex King for being a sponsor of the program. Now I remembered what I wanted to say before you walked off. Somebody was asking what's going on out in front of Margaritaville. This is the Beach Renourishment Project, everybody. And I guess I could ask the councilman when he comes on, but the Beach Renourishment Project is moving past Times Square, moving past Margaritaville. And before it gets to Diamond Head, they're going to switch it down to where we were this morning. So that is the work that's going on right in front of Margaritaville. You're getting a bigger beach, people, and it didn't cost you all that money. Oh, that much money. It cost...
Hey, did Stephen King, did his daughter get married?
Stephen King?
No,
Stephen King. Wow, I didn't even know he was around here.
Clark.
Speaking of Stephen King, I saw he just sold his radio stations in Maine. He has owned radio stations since like the 70s. He just sold them.
The
because,
novelist?
Yeah, he owned like 3 radio stations in Maine. Google it. And but they've always lost money. Radio stations have always lost money.
By the way, everybody, I am so glad you were out of that business.
By the way, everybody, I'm going to let you all in on a little secret. We have a 1-year anniversary show, not for us so much as the resort is going to be open 1 year next Saturday. So we're having a show next Saturday at 11 o'clock. It's going to be over by the tree because we have 110 reservations so far. So if you want to come to the show, Tom Torgerson and everybody from TPI are going to be on the program, and there's going to be giveaways. I know they're giving away a cruise. They're going to give away a bunch of other stuff, and we have giveaways. And we're working on a special guest that we're hoping to have confirmed by later today. Does anybody remember the show WKRP in Cincinnati? If you remember that show, let me hear some clapter.
Are you
clapter?
You pulling your string after I just said about radio?
Does anybody remember Dr. Johnny Fever? Well, he might be our guest to start the show. He's not dead. He's alive, you dingleberry. He's very much alive. He might be our first guest tomorrow. It's going to be
tomorrow.
Next Saturday. Thank you for fixing that. So yeah, that was a show that's how I fell in love with radio.
You should have kicked me before I said that.
And Deborah might be here also, so we're working on that. Yeah,
sure.
my old boss from Radio Link Magazine.
To her for that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next guest is from Coastal Vacation Properties, Peter Albert. Got a lot to talk to Peter about. Peter is a big sponsor of the show, but also he's got a lot going on in the community.
I expect you to come in all dressed.
I know,
to the
this
nines.
is so
You're
unusual.
A little casual today.
So unusual. Yeah.
Yes.
Just want to hear. Thank you.
This is Mr. Style right
yes.
here. So you must be out working.
Do you have a fancy watch on?
I do
even
not.
that?
I do not.
Good Lord.
What?
Fancy shoes?
Oh no, that's not. It's one of the. All right, I got it wrong then. I hope she's not listening, but it's somebody else.
Wow.
It's one of the other members. You see, I'm getting early stage Alzheimer's, so I can't remember everybody on the staff.
I'm just going to segue for a minute. I already told those guys the other night he was not feeling well, and so he must have taken NyQuil, and I didn't notice that. Our routine is I stay up and watch shows. He goes to bed. Then I come into the bed, rustle him up, and he goes out and sleeps on the couch. It is what it is. So I came in.
We're old.
And I laid down and I'm like, he's not getting up. He's not getting up. And then I'm like, wow, he's not snoring at all.
She thought I was dead.
And then, can you let me finish
She
the
hoped
story?
I was dead.
And then I was like,
call Stephen Clark to do the show.
Trying to listen with one ear. And I literally could not hear any breathing. So before I was like, I better check on him, what was running through my head was, I don't even know if he has life insurance. I don't know where our life insurance is. I have to wake him up. So I reached over and thankfully his hand was warm. And I was grateful because I'm totally unprepared
and meanwhile,
for your death.
When she reaches over and touches my hand, I'm thinking, whoa, this could be one of those nights where I don't have to go to the couch.
That never is going to happen.
It didn't. So, by the way, this watch.
So he survived.
Yeah. By the way, I've been having chest pains and pains up the side of my jaw and the whole thing. But
we have to get our finances in
but
order.
they're not.
Because I feel like you've got.
They're not heart attack.
Hopefully,
chest
20
pains.
more minutes.
I think I pulled my muscle at the gym or something, and then I just don't let it rest. You know how it is, but I don't know why it's going up the side of my face.
That's the number one. I know, and we have insurance. Okay. Well, if you're going to be like that, then I'm going to cancel your health insurance and up your life insurance.
So this watch, I was giving him
Welcome.
shit about the watch. I don't know how many years ago was that, Peter. You had one of the
4 years ago.
We were doing the show at Pete's Timeout. That's how long ago it was. And I was giving him crap about the watch, like I give the lawyers crap about their Rolexes. And the next time I saw him, he delivered me a watch, or it was
but he
delivered to my
also
house or
sent you
something.
shoes. He sent you a whole ensemble.
Yeah. By the way, he says to me, the only problem with the watch is you gotta go on YouTube
man.
and figure out how to change it back when the clock changes.
It's not easy.
And you were right about that.
Yes,
Actually,
we both were on
what
it.
do you got? Somebody else had to do it for me. Oh, it was Barbara. She had to do it for me, and she watched the YouTube video. So, Peter, how are you, man? How are things going?
Welcome to
Good,
the show.
good. Oh, thank you. Great. Things are going well. After the previous 2 hurricanes, a little difficulty, little bump in the road, but we're back up and running, and all our properties are ready for rental.
Tell people what Coastal Vacation Properties is.
And how you got started.
How I got started. Wow, that's a long story. So,
Well, you have 2 minutes. No, I'm just kidding.
3 minutes.
I met some investors that wanted to purchase down here. I started investigating the vacation rental versus the annual rental. I started doing my due diligence, and I found out, wow, what a great opportunity. So I brought my investors down. We remodeled. Unfortunately, those houses washed away. So the concept was we came in, we fixed them up. My wife's my designer. She does all the design work, all the furnishings, and then we start to manage it. And so one led to another, and then pre Ian, we were up to about 275 units.
Wow.
Between multifamily, single family, and condos. And then obviously, when 11 and a half hours, our life changed overnight, and it was pretty interesting. And it was a long journey to get back, but here we are. And little hiccup here with Helene and Ian, and Milton. I tell you, my staff got back up and running very, very quickly, and within the first one, we were back up in a week. Last one, though, it really wreaked a little havoc on us. So it took us probably about 3.5 weeks to get all of our properties ready and rock and rolling. So
Now, are you back up to 270 something?
no, we're
Okay.
about 180, hovering around 180 right now. We do have some condos, and obviously the condos are all out there. We're not sure when they're going to come back, so we're still waiting on some of those people to come back. I hope they rejoin us, and with the island growing the way it is, we're hoping to be the leading company here on the beach.
What is your take on property sales on the beach and how that's going?
Well, based on the economy, based on a few other elements, they're going. I think we're going to have a pretty good season. I mean, with the way I look at it right now, with the storms that are going up north, the snow, we're going to probably have a really pretty good season. And with that, what comes people and comes with their checkbooks. And so hopefully they start to purchase and see the growth that we've had over the past 2 years. Look, we're rocking and rolling. I mean, I'm obviously now Coastal Vacation Properties is now Coastal Vacation Developments as well. And we have 10 houses going up. They're all vacation rental here on the island. And, we're building, we're remodeling. I mean, we're building these houses for vacation rental. So,
You're building them from the bottom up?
oh yeah.
We went on a tour
So
a
they're
few weeks
up.
ago.
Yeah.
How are those coming along by the
I don't
post
want your
office?
stuff.
Our first two are going to be finished in March. So those are the 6 bedrooms you saw in Carolina. So those first 3 will be up and ready for rental probably by April.
And
Now,
also, we have to have a shout out.
you're touching me again, and I
He-
love it.
He brought his mom.
Oh, wow. Right. Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
What's your mom's
keep
name?
my
Ellen.
language in check.
Ellen?
Yes, Ellen Albert.
Nice.
Well, welcome to the show.
So you were talking some serious numbers about those houses on Carolina. You
Yeah.
still feel confident you're going to get that?
Yeah, based on the somewhere in the 27.
Be
Right.
more specific when you
We're
say.
very, very specific, is that we didn't have a lot of numbers to really to look at right now. So I now have the numbers to project 25 based on what's happened in 24. Obviously, we only have one way to go, and that's up, right? Because we have properties that are coming out of construction. There's more opportunity. The infrastructure is going. You got the beach whale coming, the beach bar. You got SOBs coming back.
You got the beach coming
You
back.
got the beach coming back, so we're ready. My properties are ready to rent, and so these particular properties that I'm building, they're 6 bedroom, 6 bath. They're pretty big homes, and yes, the numbers that I'm projecting for next year and the year after, they're pretty high numbers.
So March is when they'll be done, and you plan to rent them out per week for how much?
So those houses probably next year are going to rent for probably between 15,000 to 18,000 for a week during season.
I thought it was 10.
During
Wow.
season. I already have them renting right now. I have
Nice.
5 bedrooms.
Now, how many people though are going to be in there?
That's 6 families right there. So if you look at it, people think, wow, that's a big number. It really is not, because if you went and got out to get 6 different places,
Right.
it cost you more than what it would just one property. So the whole concept is you bring the whole family. You know, there's one master bedroom. They're all master suites, so they're all 6 bedroom, 6 bath. So it's actually more economical to be in a big house like that.
Plus, you have a kitchen. You might have a pool.
Yep.
You've
Within
got
walking
all the
distance to
stuff
the
to the
beach. Yeah.
beach.
And the whole concept is they carpool, they get on the island instead of bringing their cars out in
Right.
traffic. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that we do that are, you know, hopefully that helps.
And they're weekly rentals.
These are all weekly rentals, correct? We do have monthly rentals as well.
So back to what your thoughts are some of the homes and properties for sale on Fort Myers Beach overpriced right now? What is your take on all that?
So here's the breakdown that I see the market. So the market right now is broken down in obviously weekly rental and monthly rental. So most of the properties that are currently on the market, the majority of them are monthly rentals. The weekly rentals are going because people are looking at future.
No, I don't
revenue.
mean that. I'm sorry. I don't mean that.
Well, this
Okay.
has to do with the price
Okay.
point.
Gotcha.
So when you have a revenue attached to that property is worth more and it's worth. So to say if it's overpriced, no. And I got to tell you, I think this season's going to be pretty crazy.
Then why aren't things moving faster?
Again, election year, the economy. So hopefully things change now after a new administration.
Local administration, or you mean national?
No,
Okay.
national.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. So what is your thought on these 17-story buildings, Peter?
Well, I think, you know what? It's evolution. I mean, this beach has been, has changing. We have to adapt and we have to evolve. It's not, again, it's like here, this Margaritaville for vacation rental. This is not competition to us. It's a different renter. The people that buy those properties are different. In fact, those are not even rentals. So from a land standpoint, as being a developer and understanding it, it's a per door basis, and the land has to make sense in the price because they already know what the construction is. So, you know what? I think Dan said it the best. He said, we have to adapt. Not every property we're going to make these adjustments, but some we're going to have to.
You're a builder. Any idea how a building just falls down, or you want to leave that one alone?
Yeah, I'm going to leave that one
All right.
alone. How's this? Yeah, not doing what you had put in. There's a reason why the engineers do engineer it to the specs of Fort Myers Beach, is because things like this can happen. And you know what? That's an example of not following through what you were supposed to do.
Fair enough. So you mix and mingle with, I'm guessing, with people on the beach, residents. Sure. Do you think that people are more in favor of this development or more opposed to it? What do you think
Well,
the
at least
breakdown
the
percentage
circles
was?
you run in.
Yeah.
I say the majority of people that live here, I'd say the majority of the people don't want this because they've been here for years and years and years, and they don't want to see this. And I understand. I'm compassionate to it, but we didn't also plan for Hurricane Ian to destroy the community. And
True.
so by doing that, it changes the game. So unfortunately, we all have to flex. And, and the people that live here, they're going to have to flex a little bit. The town council is going to have to flex a little bit. And, and the community will change. This is never going to be the same again. My favorite place is to go hang out at the cottage. It's never going to be the same again.
Is that ever going to be rebuilt?
I would imagine at some point.
Do you think 17 stories though is a bridge too far, a flex too far?
Not that the fact that it's on the bay side.
So the location.
I
for
feel
you.
the location. You're right. I don't think the Gulf side should have 17 floors.
So
How many floors do you think the Gulf side should have?
5, not the 4 that they have.
okay.
Because of math.
So the math in order to make money.
That's correct.
Yeah. So
Don't ask him about math. You know that.
So if you believe that the majority of the people on the island are not in favor of the bigger buildings, do you think the town council has lost touch with the reality of what their people they're representing is?
Absolutely not.
Well, if the majority of people, if what you say is true, and it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But if what you're saying is true, then they should follow what those people who voted them in do, right? I mean, I'm just following through with what you say.
Well, here's the issue. Okay. So you have the people that live here.
Yeah.
You also have the people that own here. All my clients do not, they either live here part-time, they're not full-time, but eventually they're going to be full-time. They invest into this community, and same with myself as a business owner. And so the people that are here currently, and there's going to be a whole new round of people to live here.
True.
Because we've obviously reduced the amount of people that live here after Ian. Little by little, it's going to start to creep up. That's those second homes and those single families. So your voter base is going to grow. Right now, they have a very tough job.
The voter base is going to grow? You think?
Absolutely. Because
don't you think that some people are just not going to be able to afford to live here anymore?
I think that may happen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know what? At the end of the days,
There's some of the people that are already here, but they'll be.
If you see what just happened with Lipa, obviously you addressed it. All our taxes. I own property on this beach. Man, those tax bills are extremely high, and it's only going to go up from here. So what do we do? So unfortunately, these properties that they have, especially the single stories with FEMA, it's going to be tough, really tough.
So I think what you're saying is because people are willing to invest in Fort Myers Beach, perhaps they should be given a little more leeway than what the majority of the residents want.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
All right, just clarify.
I just want to know that, they're out there. Okay. And they're also coming in here investing, but really the people that live here, definitely. But, again, the people have to realize we are a destination. We're a vacation place.
Mhm.
People are coming here. And if we don't have it, our economy doesn't survive. The restaurants don't survive. This place is going to have a tough time. So we have to work together. I'm more than happy to step up and sit with the homeowners here as a vacation rental property. I'd jump into any kind of committee. You know what? We got to sit down and talk about it.
So is Fort Myers Beach a vacation destination first or a home for residents first?
Both.
Okay, which is first? It can't be 50. You're straddling the fence there.
I'm not
Come
going
on.
to answer that question.
Oh, why?
What
Nobody
do you
watches
think it
us. Nobody pays attention to our show.
Not that anyone
what
cares.
do I think
we
it
know.
is?
Yeah.
I totally think it's I know this is going to piss
What do
Greg
you
off.
think? What do you
I
think?
think it's a vacation destination first. I do. I think it's turning into that. I unfortunately I do.
It's going to. I mean, if you look at the condos and the things that we've lost, I mean, they're coming back, right? They want 5 stories. They're going to be resorts. This is going to be a lot of resorts, and you know what? It's going to be a beautiful place. Unfortunately, it's going to be different. And I know people want to hold back and to stay the old Fort Myers Beach.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not going to happen.
Here's why I think it's mostly a vacation destination first. Is because even when they incorporated, every single street on Fort Myers Beach can be rented. Every
Correct.
single
That's
street,
correct.
whether it's a weekly or a monthly.
That's correct.
There's no area on Fort Myers Beach where you can't rent.
Yep.
As far as is that accurate?
That's
Is that
accurate? That's except for condos, because they choose whether or not you can rent.
right?
them or
I'm
not.
just saying.
Like the project you're talking about, they will not be rentals. Those are only going to be people to
Owner occupied?
occupied.
Which one are we talking about?
Seagates.
That's incorrect at this point. They've changed that.
They did change.
Yeah,
that.
it is going to be rental, and I think you can only rent it 3 months, 3 times out of the year.
Times,
Yeah.
yep. Okay, so we have the Grand View that we have a couple of listings in there as well. The same concept.
Greg's saying I'm wrong. Apparently, there must be some neighborhoods on Fort Myers Beach that residential neighborhoods that on Fort Myers Beach where you're not allowed to rent, but I don't know where they are. And maybe he'll fill us in at some point. But I thought the entire beach. John, do you know the answer to that? If it's the entire beach, I thought it was the entire beach that you're allowed to, whether it's a weekly or a monthly. And some streets on one side of the street it's weekly, and on the other side of the street it's monthly. I mean,
Yes.
who came up with that concept? Where did that come from? So, how are rentals going so far this season?
So things were going fantastic in August. We were seeing 25, 30 reservations a day.
Wow.
We were booking up solid, and then boom, we got hit with the hurricanes. We gave back about 5 weeks of reservations. And then now we had a really good November. We were about 87% booked. This month, we're probably ended about 50 to 60% booked. Season, although, is looking meek, but it always does not always, but after Ian, it's looked like this every year since. So I do want to offer all your guests, if you guys visit us between now and the 23rd of December and use BT26. You'll get 15% off your reservation for season, January through to the end of the season, between now and the 23rd. Here's the thing, guys, you know what, and your listeners, the whole community could use you. You know, we know we're still under, you know, we've been beaten up by hurricanes, but the beach is beautiful. The area is growing, and the whole community could use your dollars. You know, not only myself and my clients, but the cleaners, the people who live here, the bartenders, the waiters. You know, and it's snowing up north. We're hoping that everybody's going to come down. So,
well, today is a perfect day.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
Yeah,
once that wind stopped and the sun came out, it's perfect.
Yeah.
And Greg clarified that. I think I fixed what he said was wrong, was that they weren't going to rent. They're going to rent up to 3 times a year. Originally, Matt said he didn't want to make it a rental, but I think there was some pushback that from people on the beach. I'm sure I'll be corrected if I'm wrong. From people on the beach, that they didn't want it to be an empty building the whole time. They wanted to see some more people in there, because it was going to just turn into some people that could afford it would be here some part of the year, and they would be wherever they lived part of the year, and that so they changed it. That's the way I think he explained it last week on the show.
Was he correcting you? Are you still wrong about the rentals on the whole island?
I think I'm right about that. I think you are allowed to. Doesn't mean people do it.
I would love them to have rentals, and I know a great company that can handle a building for them.
Please say what the discount is again, so that if somebody can type it in the chat box. That'd be great.
15.
Yep, BT 15. Okay. I'm sorry, 50. I'm sorry, BT 26. You can either call in, email through our info, or you can go right to the website, and there's an area where you can put in the code. And at that point, you can start searching for the property you want to use, and you'll get that discount.
And if somebody wants to rent one of those houses, those sweet houses you're building on Carolina, what do? Call you?
So here's what I'm doing. I'm actually putting those on the market next week. Those next week are going on the market.
To sell or to rent?
To rent.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm using digital imaging of the property. We know what we think it's going to look like at the end of it. So we're going to start renting those for, a month after we CO. So you'll see those on the market fairly soon.
And we're going to do a walk around in those homes again, hopefully before they open up. Anything else, Peter?
No, that's it. I mean, thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, appreciate
it. Again, to your listeners, please come down. We'd love to have you. The weather's going to be beautiful, and the community could use you.
Peter Albert, everybody from Coastal Vacation Properties and Coastal Vacation Development. Thank you, Peter, very much. Appreciate you coming on. Thank you for being a great sponsor.
Don't drink so much stuff.
Go ahead. I had 2 Diet Cokes so far this morning. No beer this weekend. I'm cutting out the beer this weekend. No Blue Moons, I promise. You'll never see me drinking a Blue Moon this weekend. Helping. Somebody help me. Where's Jackie again? Bless me on that one. Eagle Eye Aluminum is one of our sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. Eagle Eye Aluminum, seamless gutters. They can also do aluminum and vinyl soffit and fascia repairs or full replacement. He also does rescreen work. And the good Lord knows that we all need some rescreening done in our pool cages after the last few storms. Estimates are totally free and encouraged, even though he does not live on the beach. And people always like to remind us that we do not live on the beach. We do love the beach, and he loves being part of Fort Myers Beach and the rebuild, and has an active volunteer. He's been an active volunteer with us and all over with fundraisers. Give Tom Coleman a call. He's usually at our Sunday show with his 14th wife. And his phone number is 239-340-1639. 239-340-1639. EagleEyeAluminum@gmail.com. And finally, our sponsor, before we get to Councilman John King, is Jorge Barrera, another great volunteer and another one that's awesome for the community. Unlock the door to your dream home with Realtor Jorge Barrera, where knowledge, experience, and integrity come together to elevate your real estate journey. Jorge is dedicated to providing personalized guidance, ensuring you make an informed decision. Give Jorge a call right now on his cell phone, 239-791-9893. That's 239-791-9893. Jorge, SouthwestFloridaRealtor.com. And those are abbreviations in there. Jorge, SWFLRealtor.com. Thank you to Jorge and Eagle Eye Aluminum. Ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, Councilman John King. Steady as she goes, John. Steady as she goes. What number you got there? Number 3.
Beach Talk Radio.
Mr.
The beach
Jingle.
sounds in the beach town.
Oh boy, here we go. I'm gonna let you
Beach
guys
Talk
start it
time,
off.
11:42, 68 degrees
I just
in the
have one
nitty gritty
question
city.
to ask you though. Did anyone see that before the folks that were here early? You can attest to this. Did he not say, "Hey, a couple of minutes before the show, I better go to the restroom"? Did he not go? So we're talking. Oh, I think he went. I don't think he can. I think he must have a bladder the size of a walnut.
Anyway,
Oh,
you
I don't
interrupted
know.
my
I
disc
think he
jockey
went.
patter.
I know.
It was
Well,
11:42 in the nitty gritty city. 68 degrees so far, mostly sunny skies. Big John King, Ed the franchise Ryan, who stepped away, and Kim the hair Ryan.
yes.
Plus-
I think I get rid of cheese ball over here, and you step right in.
And Jerry Mathers as the beaver. And we're asking the musical question: everybody was kung fu fighting?
I have a T-shirt that says that. You know why?
Because it was in your wedding dance.
Yes, it was. Yep.
See,
My
I know
husband
things.
interrupted my beautiful Celine Dion song that I picked for our dance with 1 minute of Celine singing a beautiful song, and then it broke into kung fu fighting.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
So,
Oh, ho, ho,
by the
ho.
way, first off, how are you doing? What happened, and how are you?
I'm fine. There will be others that dispute that, but I thought I was having a heart attack. Had one back in 2018, so you kind of know what the symptoms are. And one of the symptoms I had of my heart attack was a pain radiating my jaw up to my head. So that caused me to call 911. So maybe your husband needs to pay a little closer attention and do up that insurance.
I will, and I'm going to hide his phone, and he'll just have
There
to
you
find
go.
it.
Anyway, I was having some numbness in both arms, accompanied by a pain in the center of my chest. Well, I let it go one time, and the second time was Saturday afternoon, and I would break out into a sweat as well. And so Chris was there this time. She was sleeping the last time because she kicks me.
Threw
she
you
kicks-
right under the bus.
She kicks me out under the recliner. I don't even get a couch. And so we decided to call 911, and the Fort Myers Beach Fire Department was quick to respond. Station 33 down at Linnell Road, great guys. They put up with my sense of humor. And when things are darkest, I like to laugh the most.
Yeah.
And I think it helps Chris because
Stay
it's a
calm.
panic. It's a panic situation. These guys were true professionals. They guided her through the whole process of following and everything. And so we got to the emergency room at Lee Health Park, and they really weren't sure if it was a heart attack, but they decided to keep me over for testing. Well, it turns out they don't do any testing on Sundays. So having a council meeting on Monday, I wanted to get out, but they said, listen, it's probably best that we do a cath procedure just to check. And so they did that and go in through the right wrist, even though they shave your groins. Actually, I never knew I had two groins. It was always
there you go.
a groin injury,
Right,
when I was
right.
in sports. But so they shave you both groins as a backup in case, and they shave both wrists as well because now it's in the itchy station. But they were able to go up, do a cath procedure, found out the original stent they put in was still good, and that I had a blockage of about 75 to 80% in the left ventricle, not an artery. So all good, no damage to the heart, and here I am.
Did you already ask him what you were feeling?
Yes,
Okay,
yes. And he
all
was saying, did it feel like you always hear about, it feels like an elephant on my chest? Because it's different for everybody.
Yeah, neither time have I had that. Obviously, this wasn't a heart attack, so I didn't really have that feeling. There was just a tightness, but the original heart attack was more across my back. It almost
Really?
felt like indigestion. The first when I had
That's
my heart
usually
attack.
what they say.
So-
Women miss the sign because they think it's indigestion. But
And ask me what?
he's going to tell him to go. Yes, the
No, I'm
symptoms are the
fine.
same.
Totally fine.
He's not going to go.
I don't have any
mean,
symptoms. I think I pulled my muscle working out, and then I I won't let it rest. And then I sit in the chair and I slump down the
Yeah.
whole day. So
Well,
I just think that's what it
the
is. Nobody's
radiating-
shaving my groin, by the way. So that totally,
You have groin.
I'm out on that.
that's
Well,
totally.
I've got a nice mohawk or a landing strip, but
Okay.
my wife wasn't impressed with
There.
it. So
Are you going to yell at him like you yell at me
I'm
about the
gonna let
vulgar
him go,
language?
and she's got to deal
No
with it.
kidding. What's up with that? So,
my gosh, he is actually drinking soda.
yeah, I'm
Yeah?
not drinking beer this weekend. So let's
'Cause
talk
of your heart
about
attack?
no. Last weekend was a long
The
weekend.
last caffeinated drink I had was when I had my original heart attack back in 2018.
Oh, please. I have two cups
washed
of
down-
coffee and 2 monsters before I leave the house.
Well, that's part of your problem.
This is true.
I washed down the aspirin I took when I had the radiating jaw pain, and then I called 911, but I washed it down with a Pepsi Zero. So
Nice. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, which.
well, before we go on, as long
Okay.
as we're still talking about me,
All right.
I do need to share a couple of things. Jorge Barrera's wife, Lisa, was my CNA on Sunday.
Oh,
She
awesome.
was so sweet and so wonderful. I think it was like 7:00 in the morning. So I haven't had a shower in a couple of days because they don't let you do that. I'm wearing a ball cap, and she looks familiar. And then I said to her, "Are you Lisa?" And she said, "I said Jorge's Lisa," because then she writes her name on
Yeah.
the board. And yeah, it's an interesting story, Ed.
Come on.
I'm promoting one of your
Let's go.
sponsors, so you think you would.
Come on.
Anyway,
it up.
she was just a real sweetheart. She thought at first I was Jeff Williams, Nan's husband, and then we finally connected. And it's a little awkward when you're in a situation like that. And
Yeah.
it's a different social situation, so you really don't know. Anyway, she was a sweetie. And then on Monday, while I was doing my council meeting on the Zoom, before I got pulled into my procedure, Nan Williams did swing by with her therapy dog,
Oh,
Dr.
yes.
Gus.
Yes.
And that was just so sweet. So I wanted to give them
Yeah.
some recognition as well.
Awesome. We love
Yeah, they have
Nan
a
and the
lot
dog.
of-
Yeah.
Yes. A friend of mine
Dr.
that works
Gus.
at the hospital, they have a therapy dog that goes to the hospital too, Hardy, and they're very, very cute. Very helpful.
So, John, before we get to
He's going
the Seagate question, the one other question I want to ask about is this trailer thing. You were very sympathetic to La Ola's situation and tried to get the town to do whatever they could do. There's nothing the town could do. And then this whole town issuing itself a violation kind of reversed on Monday when they said they were going to pull the violation. What is going on with all this? What is the latest that you know from Andy and from Frankie about that? La Ola is still the only one in the queue to go before the special magistrate. Despite what the mayor said last Sunday, they're still the only one in the queue.
Okay. What do you want to know? I don't know anything, honestly, Ed. I thought it was kind of silly of us to issue us violations when we were out of the velocity zone anyway. But I think I understand where they're coming from. They wanted us to be a better example.
Who's
And,
they?
The town management. And so that's why we issued ourselves violations. And but I'm always going to be a supporter of small businesses. I grew up in a donut shop. My dad's dad came over from Italy and started a donut shop in Des Moines, Iowa, to get out of the coal mines. And so my dad took it over after my grandfather had a heart attack, and when my dad got cancer, I took it over after him.
So who's
small businesses always are
so
important
all
to
right?
me.
So whose fault do you think it is that the residents, 5,000 residents or 5,000 people that had the 25% discount? Whose fault is it?
I think it's FEMA's fault, honestly. I think they had it in for us from the get-go. It just seemed like that. I know people are wanting to point between us supporting small business instead of residents, but I think you can do both at the same time, and I think that's what we tried to do. This ordinance came about before I got on council. We tried to clear it up so folks could take advantage of it and use it. And then we had an end date with it, but then the state got involved with Senate Bill 250, which extended it out 3 years. So I think we tried to do everything for everybody that we could do.
So you don't think the town played any role in this losing the discount? None at all.
We jumped through every hoop they wanted and more so. Our compliance officer, Tom Yazzo, did extraordinary work to get FEMA everything they wanted and make sure that it was addressed, all their issues were addressed. It just seemed like when you met with certain folks, now I wasn't allowed to be part of those meetings, and after watching your show every Sunday, Dan got kicked out of those meetings. So I think that tells you a lot right there. And we did everything we could to try and keep that discount.
And it wasn't just the trailer situation that was on the naughty list, so to speak. It was work being done without permits as well. So it's not just.
What are you looking at me for? It's a
Well,
fair question.
it's
Some
a fair
people on
question,
the
but you
island
try
do
to
believe
make
the
it
town
too
had
much.
something to do with it. I think everybody thinks the town had something to do with it, not nothing to do with it. But so
as far as losing the discount,
Yeah.
I don't think so. No.
okay,
I mean, I think their town staff busted their butt to jump through the hoops that FEMA wanted, and I think it was just a pre-drawn out conclusion before it even came to us. I think the others were maybe just lumped in because they wanted to give them some shelter for
what others?
For Bonita Springs, Cape Coral, Estero, Village of Estero.
And they all got theirs back. The town was the only
They
one
never
that
lost
lost
it.
theirs.
Yeah.
Right. So okay. So let's talk a little bit about development as much as you want to. So do you think that the town council is out of touch with the majority of the residents or not?
I don't think so, but that I don't know that that's my decision. I mean, you talk about the folks. Now, I wasn't at the meeting because just as I got wheeled, just as they folks started getting up talking about the public comment, I got wheeled into the cath lab. But 25 folks were the only ones that spoke out against it. With all these folks that are if it's such a big magnitude decision, I think I'm not impressed with that. I'll put it that way.
So
I will tell you that there are 329 condo units in my little neighborhood. Not once have I heard anybody talk about Neptune, Myerside, or Seagate to me out of those 329 individual units. That's between Islands End, Marina Towers, Carlos Point, Castle Beach. So that's 329 people there that know how to get a hold of me and have done it in the past, but have not reached out on any of this. I think what it tells me is most people just don't care, or they approve of it, because there's no need to make your voice known if you really approve of it.
The emails that you've gotten, what is the split there for or against?
I think it's mostly against, but I don't know that we've even gotten 100 emails. I'll have to check with Amy because I forward all of them to Amy, but that includes pro and con.
100, around 100 total.
Individual.
But wouldn't you agree?
We're getting a lot of repeat ones.
Yeah. Not taking any side in this.
Unique ones.
Yes,
not taking any side in this because I don't care if it's built or not built. I'm friends with Matt. If he, whatever, I just want to ask questions that I hear from other people.
Sure.
25 people, you poo-poo the 25 people.
I'm not poo-pooing. I'm just.
But let me finish. But at a normal town council meeting, you never have 25 people speaking at public comment. So you have to say something for that.
I think Dave Nussbaum organized more than 25 people that showed up for the window tint ordinance that we fought.
Fair enough.
And got turned back.
It's rare.
And what
though.
about when this one? I mean,
it's rare though. I'm just saying it's not. It is a decent size.
But it's a big thing.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
they've had numerous opportunities to show up and express. And the first one, what was it? 2 and 2?
50-50. Yeah, it was 50-50.
What, maybe 4 on each side, or?
Yeah. Do you give any credence to this petition that they've submitted?
No, I can't, because I don't know, it's from change.org. I don't know how that works. If you look at it, there are folks that didn't put their last name on there. They had Greg Skasny as a resident of Miami Beach. They also had the Gillettes also in Miami Beach. So yeah, I really can't give a lot of credence to that.
What do you take from the election?
That the council remains the same.
Oh, I know, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know there's folks that want to put it as a pro-development vote, or others that say it's not not a pro-development vote. I don't know. I mean, I go forward with what my position is because that's who I am, and that's been my position on the council. Now, folks will say Dan got the most votes, and that's true, but I don't think it was all because of Dan's supposed anti-development stance. It was because Dan has done a great job as mayor. Dan has been a representative of this town when it sorely needed it after Ian, and has continued through Debbie, Helene, Milton, and I was with him at Milton, and I saw what he did, and he's just a fantastic individual. Now, if you want to still go with Dan got the most votes, he was anti-development, well, then Scott and Jim actually got more votes than Dan and Greg combined. So I don't know. It convolutes everything.
Yeah. So do you think that Seagate is returning enough public benefit to the town to warrant 17 stories? I mean, obviously you do. You're voting yes. So
I did vote yes, and I will continue to keep an open mind because that's what we're supposed to do. So, you know, I have in my life, I have set beliefs, but I'm always open to listening to what my beliefs are.
go ahead, dear. So you do believe that the public benefit, what public benefit was good enough to you to warrant 17, or was it something else that warrants 17 that you think that the community needs to have or the town needs to have, or are you buying into what they say about developers walking away? What is your thinking process on this?
For me, at the first reading, I shared what I heard Jim Dunlap say in the LPA meeting. This is about finances for me. This town has been relying heavily on outside money from the state and others to be solvent. And if we're going to move forward and grow, we need to grow our tax base and our revenue base. And that's one of the things that Seagate will provide.
Even though it's 5-ish years away, you still.
Well, when do you want to start? Do you want to
True.
wait 5 years and start it, and then that's 5 years
All right,
further
fair
down?
enough.
He, originally Matt was talking about 10 years, and I said that's not good enough. You need to condense that timeline. So I got him to come down to 5.
Does anybody have any questions? By the way, if you do, just let me know. So, do you think the thing that I was a little surprised by that it almost seemed like, and I know Matt would say there was a negotiation going on. He does give in to things like Jim wants a bathroom, he's going to get a bathroom, and you guys really gave him some grief on the park. It really wasn't a park; it's going to be a park, and things like that. But there was never any real negotiation at all about 17 coming.
I'm not sure that that's accurate.
Really?
I don't know what went behind the scenes with other.
No, I mean by you.
What, in public?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't know what I did behind the scenes. I don't know what others.
Well, don't
did
you
behind
think
the
you
scenes.
should do it in public?
You saw the first rendering. There was another. I remember a taller rendering after that.
More than 17.
No, I don't.
Oh.
I don't remember.
Oh.
I honestly don't. It was another tall structure, but it was ugly.
The Seagate one.
Yeah.
Not okay. So, but what I mean is, like, you were never. Nobody was in public. Nobody ever said, "Listen, we were getting some pushback on 17. Can you make it 15 or 14 or I don't know. I mean, just
Dan did it on Monday, didn't he?
He kind of did, yeah. And Matt pretty much told him that's what fits. 17 fits. So, I mean, so what is the feedback you are getting when people talk to you in public? In your opinion, is the majority of the feedback that you're getting when you have conversations, not emails or petitions, that people say, listen, it's only 5 pieces of property. Now, what are they saying?
I don't get a lot of conversation, honestly, other than the emails and checking out the chatter on your page and your news page and your Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Nobody comes up to me personally and says anything.
Okay.
I think people are afraid of me, honestly.
Afraid of talking to you about things like this, or just because you're tall?
I think that's been my whole life. Folks have been a little afraid of me because of my height.
Yeah. So thank you guys. Take care. So the other thing is, do you think are you okay with 17 because it's set back? Are you going to be okay with 17 on the beach?
Again, each project is on its individual and own merit.
Right. So just shooting the shit here. So would you be
Well,
okay with
shooting
17?
the shit? It's still going to be.
You're going to turn my mic down because
No,
I
I thought you turned mine down.
Go ahead.
It's still going to be on an individual case-by-case basis. That's what we have to do to be legal in this process.
Right.
Well, let me just ask.
Well, you're not going to get me to try and say something that I shouldn't be saying.
Oh, I don't want to do that. I certainly don't want
no.
to do that. But
Do you think there should be?
It's just between us girls, right?
Do you
Nobody
think
watches.
that
No, go ahead.
It's the sky's the limit on the beach? Do you think there's a difference between a development on the beach side of Estero and off the other
Well,
side on the
obviously
bay
there's
side?
a difference, but as far
In
as height,
height?
I'm going to look at each project on an individual basis.
did you watch the
So
LPA?
17, if it was fit, 17 would be okay on the beach side?
Again, I'd have to look at the project. But thank you for trying.
Yeah. So
That's a good question, Kim.
did you watch the LPA meeting about the pink shell?
I did.
What did you think about? Do you favor that project?
Well, I'm concerned because originally when they were going to do that first project, it was going to be a garage.
Yes.
And they told me when I was there as part of their presentation that the previous council liked it. And, it was a nice looking project. And but at no time did they ever share that they had transferred the density over to the beach side.
Yeah.
So
it
I was
appears
a little
now.
disappointed in that. So now there seems to be some confusion about whether
Yes.
they have the density ability or not, and that needs clarification for me. So that'll be one of the things that I
Let's just play this out a little bit. And of course, you don't have to answer if you don't want to. If the Pink Shell folks are correct in saying that the piece of property on the other side of the dilapidated house was never intended to be part of the density transfer, would you be okay with that resort?
I'm just going to wait and see the presentation when it comes before us.
So I'm wasting my time asking you questions about any project, is what you're saying.
Well, I told you I'm not going to get myself or the town in trouble if I.
It's funny. Dan never says that. He always answers the questions.
That's not true.
He pretty much does.
I'm not Dan, and
Yeah.
I respect Dan. And Dan, Dan's a little more hands-on than we're allowed to be. So,
how would you grade the town management at this point? Is that a fair question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it will be coming up again. I recommended at our November meeting that Andy's contract, he's comfortable with just being renewed, let alone, I think he deserves a hell of a lot more money too. So
not a hell of a lot more, just some. It's minimum wage. No, so
I think they're still doing a top-notch job.
So let me ask you this: do you think it's appropriate for a town employee to speak at public comment about a project?
Having watched that, I don't think we should have.
Okay, fair. I'm glad it just seemed weird.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, especially being that town staff recommended denial and they work for him pretty much. I mean, he's above a lot of the town staff. Maybe it's side by side. Maybe it's something like that.
Well,
but
I
just
think they all
weird.
report to the town manager.
Yeah.
Right.
And all right, fair enough. So what else?
I know it's fair enough.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
Yeah. What else? No, I don't mean that. I mean your answer. What else?
I'm just messing.
Are you and your wife trying to take over the island? I mean, she's now the chair of the Anchorage Committee, and they're working on a new coloring book and all that for that committee. And
I'm trying to get her on the. She would like to be on the library.
Oh yeah, somebody asked me about that today down at Leonardo Arms, and you pretty much had an update on when you think it might reopen.
Yeah, we'll be after January, I think, after the first year. They're still working on the elevators. They had Milton took out their book deposit things, their mechanized things. So they had to pay to have that done. From what they said at the board director meeting I went to, their insurance premiums doubled from $400,000 to $800,000. So these mechanized book depositors they had to pay out of their own, and I think they were like a total of $180,000, I think, or maybe that was $180,000 each. Still below the deductible.
I don't know how anybody is affording insurance. We got our bill the other day, and we're way out in
20 miles away from the water,
and it shot up so high. So if anyone out there wants to help me find a different carrier, I'm open, because I almost fell over when I saw that.
At some point, though, it's almost like can the library survive? You wonder if the library can survive on how many. I mean, really, I don't mean this in a negative way, but I used to go to Barnes and Noble. I never buy a book.
And Costco's just now removed book tables from there.
Yeah, I mean, I go to Amazon and I download it in 10 seconds.
That's not just books.
I'm not a reading online person for a book. I have to have it in my hands.
Yeah,
so.
well,
they have a lot of stuff there. They have places to meet. They have
you also
places
listen to AM radio.
They have a lot more there.
Do you still have an AM radio in your car? I mean, come on.
Wow.
Now, what else about the beach that you want to make sure we touch on? We haven't had you on in a while before the first.
Well, thank you for having me on, and thank you for your concern. I just want to share, people here have been just fantastic about my health issues. Actually, it wasn't a good week to be John King. I've had a couple of things removed from my skin. We're checking those for cancer. We don't think it's that bad, and then I still have.
Do you have a sunscreen on right now?
I do not.
Oh my God, Chris, what is wrong with you? Holy cow, you can't take care of this clown.
I've got a hat on. I got my glasses on. I'm trying to cover my face.
Got a death wish over
still
here.
Got the left hip that needs to be corrected. The right one was done.
Wow.
Fine. So I'm closer to being a $6 million man, probably closer to being a $6 billion man. I don't know. But the people on the beach have just been so kind and, they were welcoming to begin with. And now their concerns about my health is just very, very heartwarming. So thank you for that. We will have the poinsettia lighting on Monday at what is it, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, maybe?
I'm not sure. I
Everybody
have it written
loves
down
Square.
somewhere.
In
That
Times
is
Square.
such an iconic.
It's nice to see the clock is
yes.
back too, by the way. The tree
Yep.
is up and the clock is back. So,
Well,
yeah.
the clock, it took a while to get it back because we removed it. Andy was smart enough to remove it for the Hurricanes, which was just brilliant, I thought. But we decided to try and get a quick disconnect device on it instead of because bolts were already rusting on the
I
thing.
see.
Yeah.
You sit out there in the salt water. So
Yeah.
a quick connect will make it much more easier. So the original manufacturer had to be involved with that. So that got taken care of.
All right.
Nice.
And
Boat parade tonight.
Yeah,
that was
6
one of the
o'clock.
reasons I had to get out of the hospital. Chris loves being on a boat. So
you're
we
in the
got-
boat
Are
parade.
you
we
guys
got,
in the?
we got
oh,
invited
nice.
to be in the chambers on
Okay.
the chambers
All
boat.
right.
Make sure you tell when you guys go to Salty Sam's to tell all the boat people to come close to Nervous Nellies and
Yeah.
Snug Harbor so we can actually show it on Facebook
Yeah, we
what the
don't
boats
have
are.
a like
They gotta get-
$50,000
You don't have a
camera.
good zoom?
Yeah, no.
I got a zoom camera and I bought a zoom camera on Amazon and it goes like this from here to here. That's how much it zooms in. So I'm like, what a complete waste of money.
Did
that
you
was.
send it back?
It was like the big dog balls. You buy something on Facebook, on Amazon, and you think it's a small ball, and it was a basketball
It's
by
like
the
your
time
orange
I
tux.
got yellow, not orange.
Yellow.
orange,
Yeah,
sorry.
that's
So,
right.
All right.
Please don't give him any ideas.
I'm looking so forward to the new and improved Murph Committee meeting, the first Murph Committee. Finally, I was so on pins and needles waiting for these guys
that'll
to
be
meet.
Thursday morning at 10.
10 o'clock,
And,
yeah.
we'll be picking a new chairman.
And who do you think? Who would you recommend that they choose?
I don't have a recommendation, but I've heard that Dave Nussbaum is willing to accept it
Yes.
if nominated.
Yes.
I think that would be fantastic.
Yes,
Dave,
I think he would
Dave
be a
is
great
one of the most
chairman.
intelligent people I've ever met. And
Wow, you need to get out more.
well, here I am sitting next to you, so
That's true.
that makes it
Exactly.
easier.
You really need to get out more.
But Dave, I'm still trying to get even with Dave because Dave helped me run for council after the window tint thing.
So you're returning the favor?
So after the window tint thing, I told Dave, I said, man, you really know what you're doing here. You come prepared.
Yes.
You got us all organized. Why don't you run for council? And he goes, well, a mental illness does not run in my family. And he said, why don't you do it? So
there you go.
I did. So
And you won.
And here you
mental
are.
illness
First
runs in my
time through.
family, so.
Ladies and gentlemen, Councilman John King, thank you for your
everybody.
service. Glad you're doing well, John.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks,
Happy
Tim.
to have you here and your
Good to see you,
lovely
Glad.
wife, Chris. All right, everybody. We are getting ready to wrap one up on at Margaritaville. Thank you, John. What? Yeah, why not? We got the boat parade coming up tonight at 6 o'clock, and we'll be broadcasting live from Snug Harbor. And then next Saturday, the 1-year anniversary of Margaritaville Resort. And we will be broadcasting live from the Christmas tree over here. So far, we have 110 reservations. So if you want to come to that show, you need to send me an email, edryan@beatstalkradio.com. We'll save you a seat. Of course, it's free. The only reason we're asking for you to reserve your seat is so that we can make sure we know how many tables are out there. And so we make sure we have enough people waiting on you because we know you like to eat and drink at these events. So 9 o'clock is when breakfast and beer begins. Yes,
Are you
dear.
going to not be drinking that weekend?
I'm kind of liking this soda thing. Yeah, I feel
You feel better?
a lot less bloated,
You're acting a lot better.
and I don't
Yes.
feel like I'm having a heart attack right now. So yeah, no, I'm
Oh,
trying
the
to.
town water is good.
Oh, no need to boil water anymore, everybody. Official.
He's over there yelling, water is good. I'm like, yeah, it is good for your body.
By the way, that was not a town problem. That was not caused in any way by the town. It was a county road, and it was done by either FPL or a contractor. So that had nothing to do with the town. The town was appropriately giving you information on the fact that you needed to boil water. But the boil water
Yeah, you do not want to drink bad water.
notice has been lifted. So, all right, everybody, we'll see you tonight at 6 o'clock, then tomorrow at 10 o'clock with the mayor at Wahoo Willie's. Come on down
You
to
should
Wahoo
just
Willie's.
spend the night.
I got to figure out what we're going to do here. We need a parking spot later, that's for sure. All right, dear. And we have 3 red shirts left, everybody. Thank you all for coming and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.